Just waiting for people to join. Eat this. Hi, everybody. Dang, a lot of people today. What is going on with you guys? Can you hear me okay? I am in Naples right now, or Napoli. We are here just for one more night, and then we are heading back to the US. So this was the end of our trip. So right outside me here is the central portion of the city. So like down that direction is the Royal Palace and big square and some stuff. We haven't checked it out just yet. Unfortunately, the last couple of days, Haley's been getting sicker and sicker, and she is feeling pretty under the weather right now. Lots of coughing, just not feeling great. So we're taking the last day to kind of veg, get packed up and ready to roll. Yeah, it's been an awesome trip. Lots of really cool stuff. We stayed in Amalfi a little while ago. We got here yesterday. And we were in Amalfi for 3 days, and it was unbelievable. 4 days. Haley's holding out her hand and saying 4 days. You can't hear her because of her voice. It's getting rough. Let's see here. Flying Ambo says, any minis around? I've actually not seen a ton. We've seen 3. Is that right? Yeah, I think we've seen 3. One we saw while driving, caught that on the GoPro. It was mounted on our car, and I actually found the owner. If you follow me on Instagram, you can go see that mini. That one was awesome. The one that's in the thumbnail for this live stream, that one we were able to stick some stickers under the windshield wipers, and hopefully whoever found them likes the stickers. And then there was one more. Oh, we saw the white and green one twice. That was it. Roy Taylor says, nice man, I live like 50 kilometers from Napoli. You must eat pizza from Michelle. Is that a place in the middle of the city? We don't have a car anymore, so it needs to be close if we were going to eat it. Kevin, hey. Excuse my snack. I'm just munching. So what's going on with everybody? I know this is like super early compared to when I normally do my live streams because different time zone. 1:45 here. I think it is like 5, 6, 7 a.m. I don't really know. We're 6 hours ahead. So that'd be 5, right? I'm just thinking. Yvonne, thanks for joining. Ciao. I'm going to open up the door behind us and bring the camera or bring the computer out there so you can see it real quick. It's really loud. So both the door opening is really loud and it's loud outside, but I'll give you guys a little view. Pretty nice view, eh? I don't know those words, Will. Haley, let me read these to you, see if you understand it. Ciao col, indossi le infradito. No? Nothing? Hey, Logan. Hey, thanks for joining too. Nice to see you all here. Just eating my salami on bread. It's just what we have in our Airbnb, so I'm just kind of munching before we go get some lunch. It's pre-lunch lunch. So what's going on with everybody else? Anything fun going on here? Will says that asked if I'm wearing flip-flops. I wonder, so that's what that means. No, I'm not wearing flip-flops, Will. I'm barefoot. Thank you very much. Yvonne says, nice R roll. Thank you. Somehow I'm able to do it even though my mom is not. I don't think my dad is either. They're already back in the mountains, actually. They've went home. They got here early and left a little early, so we're here just the end on our own. Really excited about the footage that we've gotten. Saw some really beautiful places. So what's going on with all your minis and everything? Or do you guys have any recommendations for those of you who are in Italy, maybe near Naples? Tonight is our last night. Be cool to go somewhere. Not too far away though, because I don't want to drag Haley too far. She's feeling rough. A quiet bunch today. Check out this thing that we got here. Oh, I think I have it packed up. So we got one of these for our own house at home. It's all white though. It's already packed up and I don't want to unpack because it took a little while to get everything kind of sandwiched down in there. But if you guys haven't used one of these, they make some of the best espresso. Oh my gosh. My parents have one at home already and we figured if we're going to get something in Italy, this is a pretty good souvenir. Will is at work and everyone else. Yeah, I was hoping that I might be able to tear you guys away from work and chat for a little bit. Because it's like a little bit, it's around lunchtime. Almost around lunchtime for you, Will. Fine Ambo says, sorry, don't like coffee. Yeah, well. I wonder if they make something that makes tea. They had something there, didn't they, Haley?
Yeah, it's called kettle.
Yeah, no, but they had that little steeping thing that like reaches down in and you put all your stuff in there. Yvonne's asking if we're drinking lots of coffee. Yes, lots and lots of coffee. They have so many different kinds and it is so good. Jude and Bella's granddad, Dave, England, how's the idea of classic mini Fiat 500 DIY going? I don't know, let me ask my wife. Have we bought a Fiat 500 yet?
No.
I don't know if you guys could hear that, but she said yes, absolutely. And no, she's saying no. We've got other priorities. I'd rather spend the money on a garage so that we can do more cool stuff there in the future. Will says, off into the garage shortly to continue sorting the latest haul. Yeah. Have you released a video about that yet? I won't spoil it because there's some cool stuff in there from what I saw in that little teaser. I don't even know why I'm eating this bread. All I want is a salami. Yvonne says, saw a Mark II for sale near my office today. $7,000 US. Damn. What? $7,000 for a Mark II. That doesn't seem like that much. No, well, I won't steal your thunder. If you film something or just do an overview, it's on your channel. I'm not going to steal that. Yvonne says, I know a guy that can ship it to you. No, I need to wait. I need to finish the project I have going on right now. I can't add any more cars. Fly Ambo says, what was the draw to go to Venice? So we didn't actually go to Venice. We're in the south of Italy. Venice is up in the north, northeast. So we are in the southwest. And we stayed in Sorrento, Amalfi, and now Naples. That's actually our order. Sorrento's here, Naples, Amalfi. But we've always been up north, and we hadn't experienced any of the southern part of Italy before, so we wanted to try something new. And we had heard really awesome things about it. We picked off season because it's cheaper, and usually it's just as beautiful. And thankfully that paid off. It was unbelievably pretty. New Year's here was unlike anything we've ever seen before. Honestly, the US has to step up their game. Sorrento and Naples and all the different towns around the coast, just out of this world fireworks. Never seen anything like it before. Vince Mini France says ciao. Let's see. Buonasera. Yvonne says, oh, Naples, my friend lives there and he has a new Mini. He says driving in Naples is terrifying. Yes, Haley and I can attest to that. So we've been to Rome. We've been to lots of other big cities here in Italy, Milan, then a little bit smaller, Florence, all the different towns, cities. And the driving in Naples is scarier than all of them, I think. I mean, even driving along the coast wasn't so bad. It just was skinny. But in Naples, it seems like it's just chaos. Like people are just flying all over the place. Feels like bumper cars. It's wild. I don't think I'd own a classic car in Naples. If I lived outside of the city or like, along the coast or something, I'd definitely own a Mini. But I don't think I'd want to own a car if we lived in Naples. What do you think, Haley?
Nope.
Yeah, she says no either. I don't think I'd want to own any sort of fast version of transportation. He has a Volkswagen Mark IV R32 back in the States. Oh, nice. Yvonne says, have you bumped anyone? Yes, there were, normally I'm pretty good, but we got a Renault Megane, which is a station wagon. We asked for a smaller car, but they said they didn't have any, so they left us with this. And it wasn't really too bad to drive, but it was a little bit wider than what I'm used to. And there was a guy unloading his work van just into a shop. And one of the mirrors bumped his car. It was very exciting. But other than that, I didn't bump anything. I did pretty good. Let's see. Monsieur Frambois, thank you for all these videos. It helped me a lot for the maintenance of my Mini. I'm really happy to hear that, and I'm happy that they helped. You have a 1996 SPI. Everything works fine, but when it is hot and idling, everything shakes a lot, and I have to hold the steering wheel to avoid the whole dashboard shaking. So when it's hot, idling. So I'm wondering if you have a misfire. It would kind of make the engine shake a little bit more than it would normally. And there is an temp sensor that sits right underneath the intake manifold on the SPIs. I've never worked on one, but I know this is a common point that causes issues like this. And that could cause the problem. It's coolant temp or air temp sensor. I forget what it's used for, but that might be your culprit. Will says, wow, something is loose there by my friend. So it might also be, that's a good point, Will, it might be the upper engine steady between the engine and the bulkhead of the car. There was some clunking around in Alex Toon's blue SPI Mini. ended up being the upper engine steady as well as that sensor, and will perform that repair on Alex's car. Hello from Greece. Hello. Vince Mini France says, are you planning to come to France one day? So we went to Paris for, was it 2 nights, Haley?
36 hours.
It was 36 hours. So 2 nights and some change. And so that was awesome. But we haven't been to anywhere else in France. It's definitely on our list. Next time I think we want to go kind of more out into the countryside. That's more our jam. Big cities are, well, big cities. You see all the sights and everything, but then like it's kind of a lot. And so we end up wanting to head out a little bit farther and explore the beauty of the country. One of my favorite things to do while in a new country or somewhere new is driving. Haley asked me day before yesterday, what's your favorite thing about traveling? Or what's your favorite thing about this trip? And I had a hard time picking an event. And the majority of the time my favorite thing is just driving from the different places and seeing everything. And then second, we always go to kind of like old heritage sites. So like when we were here, we've been to Pompeii. We went to Paestum, which is ruins of old temples, Greek temples. We were going to go to Herculaneum, but we decided to nix it today. With all the packing and Haley not feeling well, we just decided to take it easy. Yeah, those are probably my 2 favorite things. Let's see, I took it to several mini garages and nobody finds it. Coolant temp sensor under the manifold. I have a video on that. Yes, check out Will's channel. He has some awesome videos on rebuilding heads and coolant sensors on that SPI, like he said, manifold fixes, things like that. Also, I would double check the engine mounts on the bottom of the engine. Sometimes frequently the rubber on those starts to fatigue. And so you get more movement in them. And that's where it mounts to the subframe, or the subframe sliding inwards like this. There are 2 bolts on the subframe, 2 bolts on the engine, holds all that stuff together. So what do you guys think the next video should be? Should it be taking apart that gearbox and starting to replace some of the internals there? Or would you recommend, or would you want to see me painting the engine bay and doing some welding work up at a friend's house? Vince Mini France says, thank you for your answer. If you come again to France, you're welcome to my home. You can drive my Mini. Well, that sounds awesome. Where are you located in France? Yvonne says, welding work. Feel better soon, Haley. And time for bed. Good night. See, Yvonne, thank you for joining the stream. Vince says 30 minutes from Paris. Okay, so that's not too far. We'd probably end up flying into Paris the next time we're in France. So we've got our next few trips already kind of planned out. This year, we're going to go back to Iceland and rent a camper van and drive it all the way around the island of Iceland, sleeping in the van in the like camper in the back and doing that whole thing. Really excited about that. And then in 2021, we're actually coming back to Italy with a bunch of our friends. We do regular trips where like a small group of us, like 12 to 15 people, just our close friends, all pool the money and end up getting a really big property to rent. So like a big Airbnb, a big villa, something like that. And that's how we had our wedding in Italy. We all split the cost of a villa here. Obviously everyone flew in and then had the wedding. But we kind of repeating that and having a small group, and we're going to be doing that again in Italy. And I think we're looking at towards the north, maybe Lake Como. It depends on what's open around that time. Welding. Fine Ambo says, how many times in total have you pulled the engine out of your Mini? I guess, huh?
The drum.
Is it 12? I don't think it's 12. I think it's 8. No, I don't think it's 8 either. So first time to rebuild the car, second time to do some work, third time because of a problem, fourth time because of a problem, fifth, I think 6 times. Chip 2257 says, how can you lighten up the steering on a classic Mini? So lighten up as in make it easier to turn. One way to do that is to increase the size of your steering wheel. It creates a bigger torque location for your hands. So it's easier to turn something the farther away from the center of the turn point you get. So small steering wheels, you can turn really tight and it changes where you're going much faster. But if you move the steering wheel out, you can turn it more easily, but you don't turn as quickly. So it's a trade-off. I think there's a guy on Facebook that does power steering conversions, but I've not seen how that works. Mini Dan says, how to sort a driver's side front wheel rub on the lower arch. Seems more forward, has the new tie bar and bush. First, get the car aligned. That might be causing the problem. Second thing you might want to look at is if you've increased the width of your wheels. So if you have like a 10x4 and you move to a 10x6, it's a wider wheel, so it's got more to rub. Also, if you have the car pretty low, it's going to rub with bigger wheels. 12x5, that shouldn't rub. So if you've lowered it, it might be hitting that, but it could just be out of whack, out of alignment. Chip says, since full suspension change spacers, it feels a little heavier than previous. If you've added spacers to the wheels, it is going to feel heavier to turn. It's just kind of the nature of that change. If you're changing all the suspension, it's going to alter the way that the geometry works down there. So if you've had it lowered, increased the camber some, all of that is going to impact your steering. Chip says, had my honeymoon in Lake Como this year. Amazing place. Oh, that's a nice honeymoon. Flying Ambo says, that's sad that your wife knows how many times you've pulled the engine. Well, I mean, she does live with me and she sees me going to work on the car all the time. And she hears me bitching and complaining about working on the car when I have to do stuff like that. Reseal says, where's the t-shirt in Italy? Oh, we don't normally buy t-shirts and stuff. What we do, we have a little thing we do every time we travel is we buy a Christmas ornament from every place we've gone. Although this time we kind of failed on that. We didn't get one from anywhere we've been this time. We were looking, but we just couldn't find something that really grabbed us, you know? Ambo says, I have an original Cooper S with a steering wheel is like driving a bus and the wheel is very, very skinny. I love it. Yeah, a lot of people have those big wheels, the Cooper S especially, but it is like driving a bus. It's just like turning every time you want to go around a corner, but it does make it a lot easier. I've got a smaller wheel. I forget how big it is, but it's a little bit tougher to turn for sure. Chip says, thoughts on supercharging a 998 or buying a 1.3. Daily driving the car, but want a little more oomph. Had a supercharged Exige before and adored the sound. So I'm supercharging my 1275 right now, or 1293. But the 1275, the 1.3 you're talking about there is a really, really solid engine for daily driving. A supercharged 998 will easily keep up with a 1275. but you will hit a limit to the amount of power that you can pull out of it. I would lean more towards getting a 1275 if you can find one. And then if you want more power on top of that, modify that. And then on top of that, add a supercharger. You have a lot more room to grow with a 1275. After how many years should we change the suspension cones? It kind of varies. It depends on the climate you're in. So if you're somewhere that's really dry, things tend to dry out a lot sooner, crack and compress and get stuck. More humid environments last a little bit longer. Personally, I go by feel. So once the suspension starts to feel really uncomfortable, or really rough and hard, that's when I would consider changing it. Not changing it is just going to allow the car to sag farther and farther down and ultimately make the ride really harsh. Reese Yule says, wish I had gone for a 1275 now. The 998 has been nothing but problems, cracked head, and now a scrapped block. Really? That's really surprising to hear. Because generally speaking, the 998 engines are really robust. Really great, solid little engines. That's a bummer. I'm sorry to hear all that. Fine Amo says, have you ever heard of anyone just changing to 1.5 rockers to increase the lift duration on the stock engine? Yeah, lots of people do that. Chip says, lovely, thank you. I'll hunt for a 1.3. Keep up the channel. I love it. Thanks, man. Good luck with your search for a 1.3. They're starting to get pretty hard to find. Dave Halstead says, does Haley have a favorite classic car? I know it should be a Mini. Hey, Haley. So she says, I know the answer, and I do. It's one of the old Fiat 500s that we've been taking a lot of pictures of, if you follow me on Instagram. So if we got a Fiat 500 and I restored it, that would become her classic car. That would suddenly the keys would just disappear, I think, and they would be hers. Reese Yule says, yeah, the head cracked while machining new unleaded seats in, and the block had too much corrosion on. Oh man, that's really crummy, man. I'm sorry to hear that. That's really bad luck. Dave Halstead says, gasp to the Fiat 500. They're basically in the same family. They're like cousins. It's just the Mini's a little faster. And maybe more reliable. I don't know. Fine Ambo says, Fiat stands for Fix It Again, Tony. So what does Mini stand for? Eyes are tough. Merrily? No. Massive? I need an abbreviation for Mini. Chip says it's a Ferrari in affordable trim, actually. I like that. That's a good way to look at it. Mini, what could Steven says, hello, friend. Finally in Italy. Where are you exactly? I'm from Genoa. We met at IMM. I always follow you. That's awesome. I am in, we're in Naples right now. So just outside my window is the center, the historical center of Naples. This is the tail end of our trip. The majority of the trip was in Sorrento and Amalfi, and then just 2 days here in Naples right before we fly back out. I need to look up where Genoa is. I'm not sure where it is in the country. Is it up north? Oh yeah. It's like in the kneecap of the country if it's a boot. Chip says, have you tried any arancini? I don't know what that is. Oh, is that orange? Oh yeah, I can see it on the orange juice. Yes, we have lots. We've tried the grapefruit variety or the blood orange kind, and then regular oranges while we were on the coast. They were all really, really good. We've also tried lemons. We've also had, there was the enormous lemons, the ones that you can apparently eat just like an orange. I will say that they're a little tart. I don't know if I would agree with that, but Mini Dan says arancini is like rice with tomato. Oh, is it like risotto? They say that it's a fried rice ball with different fillings. Might be more of a really South Italy, like Sicily thing. We haven't seen anything like that here. Flying Ambo says, off to bed in Australia. Have a great holiday. I will talk to you later. Thanks for joining the stream, and have a wonderful evening. Oh, so it's more like a Scotch egg shape. That's something I've always wanted to try too, is a Scotch egg. All right, ladies and gents, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's I think I'm ready to eat. I think Haley's probably getting close to ready to eat too. So we're going to wander out and get some street food and munch a little bit. Dave Halstead says, my injector now installed, question mark. I'm not sure what that means. Thanks so much for joining the stream, everybody. And I will be back in the States here relatively soon, and we'll keep that supercharged engine getting built. It's going to be fun. But otherwise, thanks for joining. I will see you guys later.